Hi guys, I am Vignesh. Now we are going to know how to model this manifold by using of a different kind of orthographic projections. Look at it. Here we have a section view, top view, and a front section view at the top of its portions. All that belongs to each and every portions of a dimensions. Using these dimensions, we are going to draw the profile. First select the top plane and draw one vertical midpoint line. Choose the midpoint from the center point just to draw one vertical line. After that, mention the dimensions value. Here, if you look at this 2D drawing, the dimension is not mentioned fully. It is mentioned partially by each and every portions. Let's add each and every values now. 8 plus, 2 plus, 5 plus, 25 plus, 15 plus, again 5 plus, 2 plus 8. All that values once we added, it comes under the round off category of 70 mm. So mention 70 mm here. Just change into a reference line because it is only for a reference purpose to make a revolved portions. Now draw one vertical line, that is a complete halved section area. So using a line, create a complete profiles with related to that. So just to draw one vertical line, horizontal line, again draw a complete profiles within a singular line area. Then using a smart dimensions to mention each of its every dimension. First, fix this endpoint now, both the endpoints. Then, using a smart dimensions, first, what is this dimensions for this intersection area? The diameter is nothing but 8 mm. So, mention either a total value from the selections of its area, or you can mention a partial value of 4 mm. Now, the total value is 14 mm. Look at this another diameter, it is 14 mm. It is nothing like a counterbore diameter, but both portions look similar. That's why I mentioned the dimensions with respect to of both the line profiles. Then the total dimension is 18 mm. So mention 18 mm here. Afterwards, fix each of its every endpoints. Now choose this particular endpoint as well as the top endpoint to fix it vertically. Select to fix it vertically. Then we need to give the vertical dimension. It is an 8 mm value. So mention select one of its particular line. Then mentioning the dimensions of 8 mm. Use it holding your control button, selecting both the vertical lines and choose an equal constraints to fix it linear. Then exit the sketch and form a solid body using revolved bows. Now using revolved bows just to create another solid body right now. Let's select the top plane and create another sketch profiles. Select the top plane, create another sketch, simply draw one angular center line at this area. Once we draw a line profile, then fix this endpoint now. First select both the origin point as well as an endpoint to fix it linear. Then selecting this line as well as an endpoint from this vertical reference, that is a vertical quadrant point, mention the angular value of 60 degree. So mention 60 degree right now from the angular positions. Then we need to fix this endpoint right now. So select this point as well as this edges. Then mention the vertical dimensions. It is 15 plus 8 plus 2 plus 5 mm. The overall value. It is positioned under this particular distance itself. This distance is not given totally, that's why we just adding the number of the values to attain this. Now what is the dimensions for this auxiliary line means 45 mm. Once it is mentioned, the complete profiles gets fixed. From the endpoint, I am going to create a new plane. Choose a reference geometry plane, then selecting the first reference as a line profile, second reference as the endpoint. Now selecting this plane one and create a new sketch, draw one center point circle. After that, fix this profile with this dimensions of 18 mm. Now choose this point as well as a center point, then fix it using a coincide constraints. Exit the sketch. Then we need to create a solid body. So go to this extruded boss. Instead of choosing a blind type or through all type, I am going to prefer up to next. Based on the selections of an up to next, the solid body easily merged with an opposite features instead of choosing a multiple command. Now select a top plane and create a new sketch. Draw a pocket profile. Draw an angular line and create a complete counterbore profile formations. Once it is created, now choose this vertical line as well as an angular line which is a fixed one. Then using a perpendicular constraints to fix this particular line. Afterwards, using a smart dimensions to fix this point. Selecting the line as well as this line profile. What is the dimensions for this? It is 4 mm. Now choose this and line profiles. Again the angular line. Now the dimensions for this off section is 7 mm. So mention 7 mm. The total diameter is 14. From the half section it is 7 mm. Then the angular dimension is only 8 mm. So mention 8 mm in this current portions. Exit the sketch right now. Then form a revolved cut. So choose this line profile to create a revolved cut portions. Once the pocket is created, now hide this sketch as well as a plane. Form a chamfer at 3 different circular edges. So select a chamfer and initiating the dimension value of 1 mm. Look at the chamfer portions in this section view. It is clearly explained it is an 1 mm value. So mention 1 mm in this current category. Choose this opposite 3 different circular edges. Once it is selected, automatically the chamfer formations is created. Now let's create a new rectangular body opposite at the offset distance of 10 mm. Look at this offset distance, it is 10 mm. Now once we create a plane, choose this particular plane, then draw a new rectangular profile. Instead of choosing a center point rectangle, I am going to prefer a corner point rectangle. Afterwards, selecting this midpoint as well as an origin point, hold your control button to prefer this vertical constraints. Then fix this line profile. Now I am going to transfer this shaded off edges into an wireframe model. Then only we can able to fix this line profile relate to this particular whole portions. So now choose the smart dimensions and selecting this horizontal line as well as some horizontal edges. Mention the dimensional value of 2 mm. Look at this both section. It is clearly explained it is 2 mm. From the two opposite section view. 2 mm, 2 mm. Once this line profile is fixed, now what is the horizontal dimension? It is have the value of 40 mm. Now mention 40 mm. Okay. Using a fillet formations to selecting 4 different corner points to form a fillet. Create a tangential surface formations. Selecting each of its every corner point. One by one. Once the complete profile is created, using this profile, we are going to create a solid body. Now select this. Now choose an extruded boss. What is the dimension for this area? It is only 5 mm. So mention 5 mm by choosing a blind type, initiating the 5 mm of dimensions, then unselect merge result. Why I am unselecting means we are going to form a shell body from the bottom of its portions. Now select this body, go to a command manager and choose the shell features. Then selecting this primary body, okay. Then initiating the dimensions. It is up to the offset distance of 3 mm. So mention this distance because the thickness is nothing but 3 mm. From 5 minus 2, it is almost 3 mm of section view. Then selecting this bottom faces to eliminate this area. The complete solid body is created. Let's form a next of its another body. Choose the top faces, create a new sketch. Draw a circular profile. Now I am going to fix this center point of this circle, both the left edge as well as the top edge. What is the dimensions for this? Offset distance is 5 mm. From the left edge, I am going to mention the dimensions of 5 mm. Then the vertical dimension is almost the same as like 5 mm. Once it is perfectly placed, then the diameter value for this area is 12 mm. Radius is 6, so the diameter is 12. Once it is created, okay, now selecting this edges to create a new sketch. By select this edge and create a sketch using convert entities. So go to this sketch, exact edge, right click, select tangency and choose this convert entities to make it into a current sketch. Afterwards, eliminating the number of the entities by using of trim entities type. Selecting this all type of a profile and delete it because it is an excess profiles, so I just delete these entities. Then mirror these portions. Vertical reference, horizontal reference. Using a mirror entities to choose this complete profile, and using a mirror about, select this vertical reference. From this mirror entities, selecting this overall two different profiles and a horizontal line, choose this particular horizontal line, then create a new solid body right now. How we are going to create a new solid body in this area? Choose an extruder boss. Selecting this extruder boss, also I am just selecting this merge result type also. From the selector counter, choose 4 different closed portions. Also prefer the type called up to surface. Select up to surface and choose next of its surface area. Creating a solid body, it is almost the complete solid body is merged within each other. Now we need to create a 4 different holes at 4 different sections. It is a simple thing only. Choose a hole wizard. Instead of selecting and creating a new sketch, just exit from this right now and using a hole wizard to make a pocket at 4 different sections. First we need to position the sketch. So choose the positions, selecting the top faces and selecting each of its every concentric points from the primary circle. So selecting the corner points from the primary circle. Then we are going to choose this particular type called legacy hole. Instead of choosing a default counter bore and a hole type, I am just to prefer this legacy hole counter bore drill type. Let's change the dimensions now. Here there is a lot of dimensions: primary diameter, counter bore diameter, primary depth, counter bore depth. Now what is the values for this? Counter bore diameter is 6 mm. Double select this value and change it into 6 mm. Then the depth is nothing but only 2 mm. Afterwards, what is the dimensions for this primary center hole is 3 mm. Then no need to change the rest of the dimensions portions. 4 different hole is created using hole wizard. Let's create the rest of these portions. So selecting these faces and create new sketch. Choose this particular circular edge using convert entities to make it into a current one. Afterwards, draw a circular profile from the center of its point. What is the dimensions for this? The radius is nothing but 10.5. So now we are going to draw a circular profile and mention the diameter value. From the center point, draw a circle and initiating the dimensional value of 10.5 into 2. Then choose a line profile and draw a midpoint line horizontally. Afterwards, change it into a construction line also. Before that, we are going to draw 2 different circles. The radius is nothing but 6 mm of radius. So draw a circular profile at 2 opposite points. From the point, just draw 2 different circles. Now select both circle and make it into an equal constraints, then initiating the radius value. Sorry for that, the radius is 4 mm of value. So the diameter is 8 mm. Then we need to mention the distance also. Before that, I am going to prefer a points and from the left and right quadrant, create a new points, then initiating the dimensions. The value is 38 mm. So mention 38 mm. Okay. Let's draw an angular line. Choose this and change it into a construction line. Now draw a line profile angularly and make it into a tangential connection for both the circle as well as the primary circle. Then mirror these entities from left to bottom of its area. Draw a vertical line. Then mirror these entities. Choose this line and using a mirror about to select this vertical center line itself. Again, choosing a mirror entities, selecting 2 opposite line profiles. Under mirror about, just to prefer this horizontal line. Mirror this profile from top to the bottom of its area. Using a trim entities to trim each of its every excess of its portions, one by one. Selecting a line profiles one by one. Then trim this excess number of these entities. selecting each of its excess portions to create a complete closed solid body. Now draw another circle from the center point. Before that, selecting each of its every point to make a tangential connection. Choose a point, select tangential geometrical constraints. Select a point again. Only selecting a point is enough to make a tangential connections. Instead of selecting a line and the arc, choosing a endpoint is enough to fix this. Then draw a two opposite circle. It is nothing but the diameter value of 3.5 mm. Afterwards, just to mirror this profile from left to right. Using this and using a mirror robot to mirror the profile from left to right. Exit the sketch and form a solid body. From the selections, choose the selected contours and choose this close profiles. And prefer this blind type. What is the distance for this? It is 3 mm. So mention 3 mm to create a solid body. The complete solid body is merged within each other. If you just check it, go to Insert and Features. The combined type is hidden now. So all the bodies are merged within each other. Let's form a fillet at all sharp edges to create a tangential connection. So choose a fillet and mentioning the 2 mm of radius, selecting each of its every edges, which is sharpening the portions. Make it into a tangential connection to the bottom of its faces. Circular edge, sharpen edge, as well as this arc type of an edge area, that is a merging area. Once the fillet is formed, almost the entire solid body is completed. This is how is simply completed by using of a different profiles, form a solid body at all portions, then create a body by using of an extruded boss features and hole wizards. Thank you.